All right, YouTube, J-Bob, the video game slob, coming back at you. A little bit of a mail day type feel today because all the stuff came from the mail. But showing off more of the video game comics that I've been picking up. After I went to the comic convention, I thought, man, why am I getting these Sonic comics here? You know, I should just check for lots online, which I had in the past, and they'd been expensive. Luckily enough, there had one that had just listed and then went super cheap, so I'm in these about $2 to $3 a piece. So I was pretty happy with that. You know, some older Archie Adventure Knuckles with some really good artwork here. So the condition on these, you're going to notice, is certainly not there, but it's not as if the condition was super there on the ones that I was buying bagged and boarded anyway from the Comic-Con. And so, yeah, I can see, you know, when you look back at some of these old ones, why kids got into this stuff, that's for sure, and probably were confused as they grew up a little bit. A number 38 there on the Sonic. You know, none of these are going to be keys or anything like that, but just really fun cover art, you know, kind of earlier in the run stuff. Really love the homages that they have going on. And so, you know, it's throwaway stories, you know, that kind of stuff. I really love, like, you know, what if Sonic was a fighting game, 10-hit combo, you know, the super graphics, you know, spaz artwork, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, anyway, so I've just had a lot of fun collecting this stuff, finding it. You know, it's not stuff that I find every day in collections, or if I go to like flea markets or anything like that. So yeah, it's the stuff that you kind of have to find online. I really don't go to local comic stores or anything like that. But if I do, they don't have this kind of stuff. So Sonic, Friendly Nemesis Knuckles #1. Very glad to have that in an 8.5. All this stuff comes up. You know, I only buy it if it's at auction. So, you know, that's how I'm getting this stuff and making sure it's at a market price. I'm just paying what it is. I don't reach and head for the buy it nows or anything like that. I really enjoy picking up these Nintendo comic systems, Nintendo era comics in a grade like a 9.6. One, I just love the cover art on #3. But it's just so hard to get them minty, and then, you know, pay to have them shipped and hope to get that grade is just crazy. This was another one that, again, I don't necessarily go for the 9.6s, but it was the Witchblade Tomb Raider #1, not the reverse of that, but it had that old CGC label on it when they used to just grade things super tough, and that is a mint-looking book. I think it probably could cross to a 9.8. I'm not going to. But it does look that nice. This is the Horizon Zero Dawn #1 Virgin cover variant I, which I think is a 25 or 50 to 1 ratio variant cover, which means the store had to order 50 versions of this comic book to get this ratio cover, then send it away, then get it graded, only to get a 9.4, and then to sell it for me, it ended at auction at $10. So pretty good deal there. I have so many copies of this Legend of Zelda comic at this point. It seems to be, for some reason, the most commonly one graded. I'm not sure why. And again, if you're into card grades, you probably think a 9.0 is a great grade. It's really not in comics, and the off-white to white is not what you want. Of course, you want white pages. That's the higher grade. So again, I got it really cheap, but I don't know. Is there long-term value? I certainly hope there is in Zelda comics. I've kind of just been picking them up as they come across. This was a lot, so I won them each and then saved on shipping, so it cut the cost down about $15. I had the Gears of War #1, and so really anytime a 9.8 comes up of any video game comic, I'm fairly interested in it, but especially if it adds to a run. So to have, you know, Gears of War 2 and 3 now in 9.8 is really cool. The direct sales version there. These were two different sets of auctions. One of them was two comics listed together as a set, but only one shown in the front photo. And so a lot of people don't read the titles and that kind of thing. And so they didn't realize that, you could get 2 comics for the price of 1. So I did. Blip was a very early, as you can see, 1983 video game magazine comic, if you will, that Marvel put out. The issue number 1 is famous for being like the first appearance of Donkey Kong and all these people in comics. Issue number 2, of course, is famous for having Spider-Man on it, which is like a crossover appeal there. That's my second copy. Both, it turns out, in an 8.5. Again, you're going to see this one twice, and this is kind of fun for variant hunters or things like that. You'll notice this is what the front cover looks like on that 9.0 copy. Here's what the front cover looks like on this 9.0 copy. What you should see up here is a designation that we'll show you later that they're different variants, but the person who sent these in to get graded didn't do that. I've never been super fond of the cover of issue 4. Just kind of looks goofy and dated from the time, but cool picture of a joystick. But don't worry, issue 5 has your back. There's a shark playing with an Atari joystick. You can't beat that. 9.4, super good grade for this stuff back then. And so, yeah, you can see that there. This one creeps me out so much. The Blip number 6 is the microsurgeon one. Oh my gosh, how they ran with that cover, I'll never know. It just freaks me out to no end. And so you can see how, I was just trying to scan over and show you how they're all blank. This one says newsstand edition, and you'll notice it has a barcode because you would have had to scan it, for retail at a newsstand. So generally those are considered harder to get. So I was very happy to have that, even though an 8.5 is a pretty low grade, off-white pages. But again, it's another one of my favorite covers because of Pac-Man. So there you go. Those are some video game comics I've been picking up. Let me know if you like this kind of stuff and you collect it too. But please don't collect it, because the less people that collect it, the cheaper it is for J-Bob. So think of me. But we'll talk to you soon, YouTube. Bye-bye.